This is Techstrong TV.
Hi, I'm Mitch Ashley here at Atlassian Team 24 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Another great conversation. We're talking with Bob Nicholson, who is president with Appfire. Welcome, Bob. Good to be chatting.
Thanks, Mitch. Nice to see you.
It is picked up here. You can tell things
you can just hear the buzz is in the air.
Yeah, we're talking a little louder as we go. Fortunately, we have microphones that help with that. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself as well as Appfire.
Sure. So Appfire, we are the largest enterprise app provider that helps augment, extend, enhance, and connect large enterprise systems such as Atlassian, Microsoft, Salesforce, and Monday. My role, I'm the president. I focus on our strategic growth areas within the company. So look after our global channel team, customer success team, our data insights team, and work on our strategic alliances. So this is a big week for us. It's our most important partner, and excited to be here. We are the largest vendor in the Atlassian marketplace. We have about 800 employees, been around for 18, 19 years. So excited to be here.
Very nice. Yeah, this is sort of the honeypot for business development, right? Everybody's here. You know, kind of a theme in some of my conversations today has been how the technology that we use in one domain, oftentimes IT, as development or service support, move into other parts of the company, right? Because we're working so much more visual workflow or automated workflow across not just a CRM system or an ERP, but you got to move outside of the bounds of that. And it sounds like, that's part of a big space that you cover, is not kind of unlocking what you can do across all of those platforms.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good description. It's interesting because Atlassian is the platform developer, builds incredible products that really span a lot of horizontal use cases across the enterprise, where the marketplace app providers come in is really sort of extending those use cases, filling gaps, connecting to different parts of the organization. So many of our products come from identifying very specific needs and developing purpose-built apps, often that are helping people with different teams and different sort of non-traditional uses get attached to the core products.
Yeah, tell me if this is true or not. My sense about Atlassian, got to make a comparison. I won't name names, but in some ecosystems, marketplaces, the challenge or the danger of doing what you do is the big mother elephant or whatever will come in and say, that's a really great idea. That's now a product we offer. And you're going, okay, now what am I going to do? It doesn't seem like Atlassian.
It hasn't. One of the things that has made them a great partner is, this was, the marketplace originally got started and conceived in, back in 2008.
Early.
Mike and Scott brought 30 people together in Santa Rosa, California. Our founder, Randall Ward, was one of the folks in the room, and they hatched this idea of, hey, could you extend the platform through plugins? At the time, they hacked together over a long weekend and a lot of beers. What became the initial framework for the Atlassian marketplace took 4 years before it was sort of commercially viable. The marketplace actually launched in 2012. And the difference was Atlassian early on recognized from the top down the strategic value of opening up their platform. And part of it comes from the open source heritage of Atlassian. Right. Open up the platform and let sort of really talented people build. Let the best builders build, listen to customers, and really start filling in sort of some of those extensions, some of those capabilities that the core platform doesn't have, et cetera. And so, I think part of what goes along with that is a really open dialogue of, what are the areas that Atlassian is going to build and create, and what are the areas, and what is the white space that third-party app developers like Appfire can come in and really fill that need. And so, again, I like to think of it as you have sort of a base product which solves an incredible number of needs. The apps allow you to make that product your own. So similarly, like your iPhone, the phone is the phone. It's the apps that make it. The apps that you use make it yours. And so in some ways, that is what the marketplace provides. But again, a lot of it is trust, it's open communication, and it is Atlassian recognizing that the ecosystem that has been formed is a huge part of what's made Atlassian successful, and it results in really happy customers because, the marketplace is incredibly creative. We develop a lot of new things, and and that pace of innovation just wouldn't be possible if it was just, large enterprise software company building on their own. So it really enhances the innovation cycle.
What is it important to you that you need to communicate to in a marketplace like Atlassian, so that you obviously have a path you're headed down, and you want to leverage what Atlassian is doing as it evolves and changes. You also don't want to get any paths that are important to you cut off, right, by a decision that was like, well, actually, that's not good for us. How do you balance that?
Yeah, interesting, Mitch. People always ask us, how does it work? This marketplace, it's co-opetition, right? Mm-hmm. So, yes, we have competitors, but we also collaborate. We work together. Perfect example of that is, in workflow and automation, we have 3 of the most successful apps. Atlassian has automation.
That's right.
And for a whole bunch of customers, that product is great. There are other customers, larger enterprises, those with more sophisticated use cases, who need something else. So we have a product called JMWE, Jira Miscellaneous Workflow Extensions, one of the top-selling apps that really allows customers to go further with automation. And oftentimes we'll find that the fact that you have multiple products in an area really generates interest, because people are like, okay, what is everybody doing automating workflows? And so, that level of competition per se really isn't bad. So, what we try and communicate, a lot of it is, how you rate on the marketplace. So do customers like your apps? So marketplace rating is important. And then obviously some of the certifications that you receive, are you cloud fortified? Have you put in that hard work from a security and privacy standpoint that, particularly enterprise customers need? And so a lot of those things really differentiate, products on the marketplace.
It's a really good point about, instead of kind of being in your own siloed or bubble kind of how you view the market, being part of a marketplace creates opportunity as well as competition, right? Like you said, you can recognize this, there's activity here, generative AI. I knew we knew we had to come up, right? Maybe let's talk about that next.
Yeah.
But how do you kind of, from a biz dev or strategy standpoint, how do you keep your pulse on that? Because it isn't like you can look in one area and say, that's it. You've got to kind of watch it all and see what makes sense.
We spend an awful lot of time talking to the solution partners who are in many cases our eyes and ears with customers, and we listen. So our heritage at Appfire, we were the original enterprise-focused solution partner for Atlassian in North America, back starting in 2005 until, I guess, 2017. So our heritage was as a solution partner, helping implement some of the very first Jira deployments here in the US for customers like, Fidelity and Qualcomm and others. So we came from that world, and although we stopped doing that and started focusing on apps exclusively, our heritage is listening to customers, listening to solution partners, and then trying to build products that are solving those use cases.
It's amazing what can happen when you listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes we all need to practice that a little bit more. So I brought up AI. We've got a timer set somewhere that says by 4 minutes we have to mention into the conversation.
Exactly.
So talk about how generative AI is kind of fitting into your strategy. It's early for all of us, right? At least for generative AI. So we're kind of on that journey together. What's your perspective?
Yeah, so, look, the AI, the march to incorporate AI in our daily lives, it is a marathon. It is not a sprint.
Yeah.
And there have been all sorts of high profile, quasi-consumer oriented applications, but that's not, in our view, that's not where the real opportunity is. So when we look at our business, we see 3 ways that it really is going to impact Appfire. The first is, we're a customer. So we're using some of these AI tools to increase the productivity of our own workforce. We have, close to 500 developers and product managers spread around the world. We're already seeing, productivity improvements. So taking some of those, menial and repetitive tasks out of the work of developers or product managers, helping workflow better, frees up time to do the creative work that really adds value for customers. So first, we think it's going to improve our productivity, allow us to be more innovative. I think second, we see AI providing sort of a different way for customers to access our existing products. So, to use our workflow and automation products, we have a low-code version. We have one that has more scripting. Imagine you have an AI front end that allows, a customer to more easily access that. So we think it's going to create different ways for our customers to interact with our apps, interact with Atlassian's core platform, which really extends the utilization of those tools. You asked the question, how does it extend beyond the classic developers and customer support agent users?
Right.
We think AI really is going to help expand those use cases further into the enterprise. So, imagine you're a user or customer of data, and instead of having to go and figure out how you're going to run a query in Tableau, you can type in a prompt into a front end AI agent, which then goes and triggers a query into a field of data, looks into an internal knowledge base. So we think really interesting way to expand usage of existing products and add features to existing products. And then the last one is it's unleashing innovation. So this is, as builders, we get really excited about what we haven't thought of yet, but we're now, we have 800 creative people around the world thinking about what are the ways that we can build new things for customers that utilize some of these capabilities. And frankly, one of the advantages of being a strong partner with a company like Atlassian is we're benefiting from the heavy investments that they're making. Like, we're not going to build large language models ourselves, but as we can tap into some of the innovation that's going on here at Atlassian and build products together with them that extend the capabilities. Like, we're not sure what we're going to build, but we know it's going to be exciting. And I almost look at it as, going back 25 years, you have the wave of the internet changing the way people worked and the way they processed and consumed information. You had the mobile revolution, where all of a sudden you have a, mini computer in your hand. People thought the next one was crypto. I tend to dismiss that wave. This is the third, and like, the advent of the internet, like the advent of mobile, this is a decade-long super cycle of innovation.
Yeah.
So
I think that mobile is the smartphone. I mean, think about where we are in 12 years and when it started, why would I want to put an app on my phone?
Exactly.
Well, yeah, duh, now couldn't live without it. You mentioned several interesting things. One of them is, as we use more technology in our business, not just in IT to support the business, with AI, we can change the experience of what it's like to that. I kind of think of AI as it is the new low-code, no-code, right? That'll kind of take that as another form of doing self-building. If we can, as an aside, if we can reduce the number of spreadsheets on my hard drive, I'd be happy with that too, but that's a different problem. But it's transforming not only how you can do the work, but who can do the work.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I just got out of a meeting with one of the Atlassian product managers, gave a presentation, and he talked about how we're going to have to change the way organizations think and how they use these tools. So you can't, somebody who's used to using a slide rule, if you hand them a calculator, not only they need to understand how it works, but they need to understand that it's accelerating and enhancing what they can do. And so I think there are these tools, and then there's what are the behavioral changes we're going to need to make. Imagine you are, seamlessly putting transcripts from meetings into a knowledge base. You're allowing teams to communicate through, automated communication out to them. It's going to change the patterns of work. Again, really exciting, but I also think it's going to make some of these tools that were before now really the domain of very technically savvy end users into the hands of more knowledge workers. So again, if we think about this innovation super cycle, you're taking these tools, you're pushing it deeper and deeper into the knowledge worker, and so theoretically, this is going to expand how people can become knowledge workers. You can, again, there's a lot of talk about how is AI going to replace jobs, and it's, yes, there will be changes, but this is a huge efficiency, and frankly, it's opening up access to these types of knowledge-driven jobs, a different set of people.
You talk about knowledge worker, knowledge base. That's been a quest, and it seems like my whole career is how do we get this knowledge shared so we don't answer the same question on the help desk, or we don't make the same mistake twice, or we know there's a great approach to this, it's just not widely known. It seems like we're sitting on now data representing all that information because it's captured on hard drives on servers.
Sure.
Now it's accessible and accessible in ways of natural language interface tool. How does that change? I mean, how does that change your strategy?
Yeah, so I would say there's the front end, which is sort of the interface with the end user, that's sort of the exciting new part. There's a part about sort of I'll call data and knowledge hygiene. So, for example, we are launching here at Team our knowledge management solution, where we have one of the most widely used Confluence tools, a product called Kamala Document Management, which combined with some of our other products really enable a series of use cases for customers, which sort of take the core capabilities of Confluence and add things to them. So, for example, compliance. One of the big use cases of our products is around compliance in regulated industries, making sure that your, version control, authorization, tracking all of the changes. So if we look at our customer base, it's large financial services companies. It is, for example, in the medical device industry, of a number of clients who are following good manufacturing principles and using our software to really track this entire flow and this sort of hygiene of information within the organization. So part of the world that we live in is having that hygiene and having sort of knowledge properly controlled, documented, and organized, and then you can layer the AI in on top of it, grab that access and get it out to the right people. So,
improve the flow, reduce friction.
100%. What you can't do is you can't let AI go unfettered without access control.
Yeah, here's some
documentation.
Data. Go figure out whatever.
Because the last thing you want is for them to grab. Let's say another use case is internal policies. So you have an HR policy, for example. Last thing you want is an AI bot to go in and grab a 6-month-old Confluence document and serve that up as the source of truth. So there are ways that you can sort of standardize and control the flow, the operative version, for example, of an internal policy, that you can train the AI in order to sort of access things the right way. So it all flows together. And again, part of what we're doing here is really spending time with our solution partners, helping them understand what are some of the use cases they can get out in the world with customers and help them really enhance the value of the Atlassian platform by driving more and more business value.
Now, is the knowledge-based product, is that a standalone or is that part of the document management solution?
So it is, Kamala Document Management is part of the document management solution, but it is also a standalone app.
It is? Okay, yeah. So you can use it either way. Yeah. Very good. Well, it's been great talking with you, Bob. And,
likewise.
Congratulations on your success in the marketplace and launching the new capabilities around the knowledge base, and good person to talk to because you know a lot what's going on. So really
thank you.
Glad Bob Nicholson, who is with Appfire, talking with us today and sharing just some of the things that are going on in this ecosystem, which is thriving. As you can tell, it's time to be here in the expo.
Absolutely.
It's really picked up. So we'll be back again with another great interview just like we had with Bob. Thanks for joining us.